When I first read over the weekend that ESPN is working with the NBA to perhaps televise a horse competition between NBA players, my first thought was, wonder who would have won a horse contest, or who hypothetically would won one, between LeBron James in his prime and Michael Jordan in his prime. So, Shannon Sharpe, start us off here by telling the truth. Who would win that competition?
Skip, look, a horse is about being able to make shots, being creative, and doing things that your opponent feels uncomfortable doing. Now, I don't know how many people actually know this, but LeBron James is a natural lefty. The only thing that he does right-handed is shoot a basketball. Throws a pass, shoot a basketball. Everything else, he writes his name, his left hand in his dominant hand. So he would feel very comfortable making shots, something other than a layup, with his left hand. Now, people are like, LeBron's a terrible shooter. But through the course of his career, now remind you, I think he's played 2 or 3 more years already than Michael played. He is a better three-point shooter than Michael Jordan, because you're going to have to be able to shoot from distance, Skip. Anybody that, and we're going to talk about this a little later, anybody in the current NBA that would engage in this, you're going to have to be able to make pretty much half-court shots probably 2 or 3 times out of 10 shots, because that's what the great shooters in the NBA can currently do. But back to Michael and LeBron. LeBron is a better outside shooter from the distance than Michael Jordan. Skip, did you know 3 times that Michael Jordan shot under 30% from the three-point line in his career? Under 30%. Michael did that. His last year, that great year that you talked about, his last year in Chicago, Skip, he shot 24% from the three-point line. Is that good? Now you tell, the GOAT. The GOAT. They haven't moved the three-point line further back. So what you see guys routinely, the ice trade, Trae Young and Steph Curry and Dame Lillard and even LeBron has turned into a logo shooting three-point guy. The three-point line isn't any further back. Michael Jordan shot 24%. Even the great Lonzo Ball has a higher three-point percentage than that. Skip, you have poisoned the water so bad, you've got people thinking, not only can LeBron not shoot from distance, but LeBron isn't clutch. When we know that to be true, LeBron has more playoff buzzer beaters than Michael Jordan. He has more clutch shots, NBA defined clutch as 5 minutes or less, playoff shots than Michael Jordan. So for me, and I know you want to, obviously it would be no contest now, but in their prime, I'm taking LeBron. Now, the only thing I would say is that we're going to make this a straight-up game of horse, none of this Michael Jordan shenanigans. And you know what I'm talking about, because Michael is a gambler. And Michael will lure you in, and he doesn't gamble for $10, $15. He gambles for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, so we want no part of that. We're going to play a straight game of horse, H-O-R-S-E, and that's it. No side bets, none of that other stuff, Mike. LeBron taking him down, Skip.
Okay, it is my turn. My first takeaway is this would be a complete and utter mismatch. I believe that if this were on national TV under huge pressure with the world watching, this could be internationally televised because this would be epic. I believe LeBron would lose this competition H-O-R-S-E to 0. I believe LeBron would get no letters on Michael, while Michael got 5 quick letters on LeBron, and it would be a wipe out. And I'll start out by telling you why. Let's go left-handed. Let's go ambidextrous. I once witnessed, after a Bulls practice, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, for what was probably hundreds of thousands of dollars even in 1998, in a post-practice free throw shooting competition with several other Bulls, and Michael was shooting the free throws left-handed, blindfolded, and wiping out everybody. Nobody could touch him because he was swishing left-handed free throws blindfolded. So don't give me LeBron ambidextrous. I got it. But that would mean nothing in this competition because Michael wasn't just good with his left hand. He was great with his left hand. So now let's go to three-point shooting. Do you remember some of the clutchest three-point shooting you ever witnessed? How about game one in the 92 finals against the Portland Trailblazers? Do you remember the shrug game? Just look it up on YouTube. For all of you young viewers who don't know what I'm talking about, just YouTube it. Just type in Michael Jordan shrug game, and you'll see him shrugging because he made one, and then he made two, and then he made 3, 4, 5, 6. He made 6 in a row to start the NBA Finals in the first half. Lord have mercy, Shannon. Under pressure, this guy was deadly from three. And by the way, your numbers can get skewed over his career because nobody even valued or emphasized the three-point shot. I can throw this at you. 95, 96. Again, he's taking very low volume as compared to LeBron James, but he shot 43% from three in 95, 96. So let's look, shall we, at LeBron James. He is average at best from three, and I can show you numbers that scream he's way below average as a high-volume three-point shooter, because if we look at the 32 players who have shot 373s this year, that's 370 or more, he ranks 32. He's 28th of those 32 this year. If we go at career, he's a 34% three-point shooter as LeBron James. Of the 37 players who have taken 4,000 or more in their career, wait a second, LeBron ranks 34th? Wow, 34th of 37, high volume. And of the 93 who have shot 3,000 or more, the 43, he's 25th of that. So my point is, when you go high volume, he's a lousy three-point shooter. So under pressure, and again, this would be trash-talking pressure against what I believe is to be the greatest trash talker ever. LeBron would have no chance because what would Michael do right off the bat, Shannon? He would take him to the free throw line. They're called free throws. LeBron is simply the worst clutch time free throw shooter of superstars in NBA history. So Michael could just go to the free throw line and he'd probably make one left-handed, but that wouldn't, again, I'm with you. Don't shoot gimmick shots. Just shoot it right-handed and make them. What does LeBron do notoriously under pressure? He misses free throws. So Michael could beat him at horse. He could HORSE just from the free throw line. So this would be a wipeout. And I didn't even get to Michael's specialty, which is mid-range jump shooting. There have been very few any better than Michael at mid-range hold-the-pose jump shots, which is LeBron's weakness. It's the big glaring hole in his game. He doesn't shoot many mid-range jumpers. I know he's got that fadeaway he shoots, but Michael just goes straight up, holds the pose, makes the shot. Yeah. So, again, Shannon, I just gave you 3 ways that Michael would murder LeBron in a horse contest.
Well, Skip, you keep talking about, if they national televise these games. Well, the NBA Finals, last I checked, they televise basketball games. The NBA Finals and the playoffs and regular season games are on television. But here's the thing, Skip, if you don't mind me asking, how many game-winning threes have Michael Jordan made in his playoff career?
Well, he didn't take them. He didn't need to take them. I know a jump shot that he made at Utah because I was sitting on front row, press row. He held the pose against Brian Russell to win the game 6 and close it out. Has LeBron ever done that?
Everybody in the NBA is hitting a game-winning jump shot or a layup. I'm saying a game-winning 3 like he did against Orlando, like he did against Indiana. That's what I'm talking about, Skip. How many of those? Because you see, at some point in time, let's just say for the sake of argument, he goes to the free throw line. It's not like he's getting all 5 letters with one shot. It's 1 letter. He can only shoot from the free throw line 1 time. What's he going to do? He's going to granny it. He's going to left-hand it. He's going to right-hand it. He's going to throw a hook. No. But here's the thing. LeBron's going to get to shoot the ball first. At some point in time, Michael is not making all 5 shots. Okay, obviously you flip a coin to see who goes first, and who knows? LeBron might run the alphabet on him. He might not get a shot, and he might not get skunked out by LeBron. LeBron's gonna have HORSE, and Michael's gonna have nothing. Who's to say it won't be the other way around when LeBron goes first, Skip?
Well, used to say it, but not me's to say it. I'll tell you that, because if we look at LeBron's three-point shooting in volume in playoff games, there was that one back in 2006. It was Game 4 against Washington. He did make 7 threes in that game. And in the first half, he made 5. So he made, again, Jordan started the game by making 6 straight. In the game in 2006 that LeBron made 7, he made 5 in the first half, but he only made 2 of 5 in the second half. They lost to Washington by 10 in that game. Obviously, in the Jordan game, Game 1 of the 1992 Finals, the Bulls won that game 122-89. So I'm still saying that the guy who can get hotter from 3 would be Jordan. And if you get on a streak in a horse game, you could just shoot the other guy into psychological smithereens. And that's what Jordan is known for doing. Okay, so now I changed the subject to Michael's other huge advantage in this competition, and that's lane shots. And again, I'm with you on the rules of the game. I would think that the rules would have to be, you have to take shots that you would normally take in a basketball game. I don't want any weird trick shots like when you shoot it from straight behind the backboard over the backboard and try to make it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. That's part of it. That's part of it.
That's out. That's out. And no trying to bounce the ball and make the basket. No trick shots. You have to take a shot that you would take normally in the basketball game. So,
see what you're doing? You're trying to cater the rules. You're trying to cater the rules, Skip Bayless.
No, I'm not. I'm saying you can't do that. So my point is,
yes, you can.
Of LeBron and Michael in the lane, who is the most athletic finisher between LeBron and Michael? Who can do gymnastic dipsy-do moves like you've never seen, flying through midair? Who is the jump man? Who is the king of midair? It's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So he could pull off some dipsy-do shot, some hang, twist, turn, and lay it off the glass with his right hand backwards. Maybe that shot. That LeBron is not, he's too stiff. What do you always tell me about LeBron James? The reason he's never...
now he too stiff. Wait.
Okay, but you tell me he's never done a dunk contest because he's not that athletic. He's too stiff. You've said that before on Undisputed.
No.
He's too stiff.
I did not
say... To do dunks, to do contest dunks. Am I right?
Well, Skip Bayless, you think you're slick. You tried to ease the word unathletic. LeBron, you said he's not. I've never said LeBron James is not athletic enough. I said LeBron James' creativity. LeBron James is an in-game dunker. Levine and Vince Carter and Michael Jordan, those guys are creative dunkers. Aaron Gordon, those are different than being an in-game power dunker. You try to slip that in there, Skip Bayless. I hear everything you say. LeBron James was, and always will be athletic, as you can tell by what he's doing in year 17.
Who is more athletic, Jordan in his prime or LeBron in his prime?
Skip, it all depends on what you're talking about. Listen, Skip, I give you this. Michael could get hot, but see, the thing is when LeBron gets hot, he's still looking to pass the basketball. He's not looking to, because we saw against New Orleans, when they were in New Orleans, he had 19 points at the half. Now, he comes out in the third quarter, tries to get AD involved. Most guys, Dame Lillard, guys, Harden, Russ, guys that are streaky like that get hot, they try to continue it. LeBron says, no, I'm going to need these other guys at some point in time during the game. let me all of a sudden turn into a pure facilitator. He took one shot in the third quarter, and that came with about 5 minutes left in the third. Then he takes it back on, takes over again in the fourth quarter. So I give you that because Jordan's mentality was, if I'm hot, I'm going to stay in this zone as long as I possibly can. That's not how LeBron operates. But if you think for 1 second, you see what the man doing in year 17, Skip. He did the Kobe Bryant rockabye baby from the same distance. And he was probably 35, 40 pounds heavier than when Kobe did it. And he's still doing that. So if you think a young 22-year-old could not do what Michael Jordan do as far as dunking, you're out your mind. Because here's the thing, Skip.
Okay.
He would have the blueprint to do it because he has seen Michael do it.
Okay. So I want to point this out to you. You may not quite understand the rules of horse, but you realize you can't pass in horse, right? You can't give up the basketball to make, you can't make the right play in horse by passing to an open teammate instead of you taking the shot. You have to take every shot, LeBron James. You can't wimp out. You can't dodge pressure. You can't run from the free throw line by saying, oh, I made the right play. I passed to Kyle Korver in the corner. Nope, you can't pass it. You have no teammates in horse. You have to take the shot.
We don't need
now
them.
back to the rules again. I would think that one rule you would have to institute is no dunking in this horse contest because you'd want the little men to have as much advantage as the big men. So you wouldn't let,
Right.
Dwight Howard into this competition and he would just dunk it every time and beat whoever, Steph Curry or whoever he might be matched
Trae
up
Young,
against.
yeah.
So I would say no dunking. Yeah, Trae Young. But
Right.
in this case, who won the two most iconic two of the most iconic dunk contests? Who has the most iconic dunk in NBA slam dunk contest history? Well, it's obviously the original and the only number 23. So the point is that he is more athletic and more creatively athletic than LeBron. So on shots in the paint that aren't dunks, hanging, twisting shots, creative, like Harlem Globetrotter kind of Meadowlark Lemon shots, Michael could pull off shots that I don't believe LeBron could match. And I'm not talking about dunks. I'm just talking about shots made from 4 or 5 feet in the lane.
Well, Skip, I don't believe Michael is more athletic, just athleticism. Do I believe he's more creative? Absolutely. And it's easier for a man that's lighter that can jump to stay in the air longer than a man that's heavier that can jump. A guy that can, Zach LaVine is going to stay in the air longer than Zion Williamson. It's just that Zion is so much heavier. Of course, a bowling ball is going to fall at a higher rate than a penny, Skip, wouldn't you think? So that's what LeBron is up against. But I'm not going to let you change the rules. Skip, another one of these iconic commercials. You remember the commercial? I think it was a McDonald's commercial. It was Larry Bird against Michael Jordan. And they were all up in the stands, and they said, okay, through the window, off the backboard, nothing but net. You know what I'm saying? They were doing all kind of things. That's what horse is. You can't just say, okay, only shots that you would attempt during the course of the game. Skip, no. If you're gonna toss it behind your back and kiss it off the backboard and it goes in, that's a shot. You can't limit someone's creativity because that's creativity. And that's what horse is about, being creative. Because as you said, sometimes a bigger man has an advantage because he can just dunk the basketball where a smaller man can't. So the smaller man has to have some kind of advantage, Skip, and it's probably going to be his creativity. So with that being said, all I'm saying is that there can be no money wagered because you know how Michael is. Michael does not like to do anything for fun. He has to put money down. And you remember, Magic told the story of what happened is that they were paying Pity Pat the night before that Shrug game. And they had been staying up all night, and he tried to get his money back after Magic had beat him. And he looked at Magic, who was calling the game at the time, Skip, and he shrugged like, I don't know how I did this. I stayed up till 3, 4 in the morning gambling, and here I am draining threes. So he shrugs like, I can't believe it either, bro.
Thank you for telling that story. That's the epitome and essence of Michael Jordan, the clutchest player who ever set foot on a basketball court. So back to the rules changes. I'm not trying to change the rules. I'm trying to level the playing field for LeBron here. Because if you say all bets are off or on, if you say Michael Jordan can do trick shots, he can blindfold himself and shoot left-handed free throws, then it's even a worse advantage for Michael than before. So I'm trying to even it for you. I'm trying to give you a little bit of a ghost of a chance here, because if you let Michael bounce the ball off, like off the floor and into the basket, it would be a joke what he would do to LeBron if he could make up shots that are non-basketball shots. I'm trying to keep it pure competition instead of goofy, gimmicky competition.
Do you remember when LeBron took the ball like a football, Skip, and he was on one end of the court, and he just palmed the ball, and I don't know if we have the footage, and he just heaved the ball basically 90 feet and swished nothing but net. All of that is fair game and horse. And you try to come up with things that you know your guy can't do. This is one thing we know is not happening. They can see it. People at home can see it. We know Michael ain't doing this. And look at this. That's just a routine pass.
Wait a second. What? That's just stupid. Wait a second. Are you saying LeBron would call his shot on a 90-foot baseball throw, the length of the court, and swish it?
Call it.
He would not.
Call it.
I dare him. I would dare him to shoot it every time because he would lose horse to nothing. He could not make one of those. I'll give him 1,000 of those on national TV under pressure against Jordan, and he won't make 1 in 1,000 of those. You know it, and I know it.
This is how confident I am that LeBron would beat Jordan. It would be tied. Both players would have S. LeBron would have the ball. He could do something easy, probably easier, left-handed shot, hook shot, and win. But he would go down and do that shot, 90-plus feet, from one end of the court to the other, to make it dramatic. That's how my guy, that's what GOAT James does. We don't take anything easy. We gonna put him out on a 90-foot baseball pass, football pass shot from one end of the court to the other.
Yeah.
Game. Over.
And you know what Michael would do right before LeBron tried to launch it? He would say, I'll bet you $100 million you can't make that shot, because both of them have $100 million to lose. He would.
No,
And LeBron would lebrick it. He would airball it.
Skip, you know that's how Mike plays. Mike does nothing for fun. Everything have to be monetary incentivized. That's just who he is. You play in golf, it might be 100,000 or 50,000 on a putt, on an 8-foot putt. He's going to put that kind of money because he just don't want, I bet you $5. $5? No, he might bet you $500,000. That's how he plays, Skip. Everybody, Skip. There's a reason why if you watch when they play poker, for the most part, Skip, they use chips. Because chip, even though it's the equivalent of, they might have $500,000 or $1 million chips, it's not the same because you look at that as an object. When you have $1 million and you have to shove that, somehow the mind can't separate that's $1 million, but the $1 million chip is different. The mind can separate that. Michael Jordan, he loves to put that pressure on people, Skip, and he knows they don't have that kind of money to lose. They get nervous. They all of a sudden, man, I've made this shot 1,000 times before, but I got 500,000. I mean, think about skipping golf. How many times you think guys have made 5-foot putts or 3-foot putts in their life, but to win Augusta, but to win the PGA or to win the British Open at St. Andrews? It's a different ball game. You get nervous. You put 500,000 or $1 million or $5 million, Skip, that's a whole different ball game. So no gambling.
So here's what would happen, Shannon Sharpe. I believe Michael Jordan would win the coin flip and get the first horse shot, and he would go straight to the free throw line and make a conventional right-handed free throw and swish it, and he would turn to LeBron James and say, "We know you always choke from the free throw line," and LeBron would step right up to the line and LeBrick it, because Michael Jordan would get under his skin and into his head immediately and turn him into a big bundle ball of nerves. You know it, and I know it. Jordan would win the trash-talking competition first, and then he would skunk LeBron on national TV in HORSE.
You know what LeBron would do? LeBron would do to Jordan what Jordan did to Dikembe. You remember Dikembe was talking trash to him? And in an actual game, he's like, "I'm going to make this with my eyes closed." He closed his eyes, shot a free throw, and made it. That's what LeBron would do to Michael Jordan. He'd make the free throw first. LeBron, he'll do all that talking in my ear. He's like, "Back up. Get out the lane. You can't stay in the lane. Do all the talking you want to, but get out the lane." And then he was like, close his eyes. Swag up.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.